Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Francis Pinole. I'm a recovery coach and personal development coach based outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we're on the outskirts of Philadelphia. And today I'm outside filming this video. I thought I'd switch it up a little bit, and I want to do a video talking about spirituality and recovery. And can you recover without spirituality? And also, how can spirituality benefit your recovery? And let's first off, define spirituality super broadly. And it doesn't need to be any particular religion, any particular type of faith. Even if you're just purely just agnostic, like you don't know, like I don't know what else is out there. I don't know what to believe. There may be something greater than myself. Whatever it is that you imagine or that you feel or you connect with. I like to tell people, find something that you kind of connect with, that you vibe with. But without spirituality, can you still recover? And I think that this is important because for a lot of people, and even in some of my current roles that I work in, part of it is going with people or taking people to different 12-step meetings. And a lot of times, literally, they close the meeting with Our Father prayers and things like that. And I know that for me, years ago in recovery, that was a big barrier for me. One of the reasons that me and the 12 steps hadn't vibed as much is because at that part of my recovery journey, I wasn't spiritual. I wasn't feeling that. And for me, it really put a barrier between me and connecting to that program. And I mean, it's in some of the different steps, and that was really my issue. And some of the clients I have currently, they grapple with that as well. And there are alternatives, but even in these meetings, I hear people talking about like waiting for this miracle, waiting for this light shining down moment that they feel that they need in order to feel that they're really in recovery. And that is what I don't want people to feel that they need to have. That without spirituality, that without this experience, that you won't be able to recover. That you're waiting for this mystical experience, and that I don't think you need. I think that by learning different coping skills, by learning different tools, and purely by just having enough time away from your drug of choice, for the thing that you were doing, I think that that's when you can eventually turn that corner. And people are waiting for this singular moment, but I think it's a process. And I think it's just kind of building and learning new things. Now, spiritual coping can be super beneficial. Being able to use spiritual meaning making to look for, the grander purpose of things, okay? To be able to take a situation that may have set you back and be like, well, this is leading me towards my divine purpose, these different things like that, or with things like grief, that spirituality can be super beneficial. But the main point that I want to make is that you can recover without spirituality. If you're purely an atheist, you can recover. I think people oftentimes connect spirituality and altruism, and I think that you can learn how to care about other people's feelings, how to be empathetic, how to care how your actions affect others without having the spiritual component, like whether you want to look at, Kantian moral philosophy or whatever your guiding principles are in life, of kindness and generosity, wherever they come from. It doesn't need to come from a religious text, just however you want to live your life. Learning about your values, which I have videos on, and how to live these values and how to be in the world, in your recovery. I don't think that you have to have this religious or spiritual component to be able to do that. Now, I see a lot of people, it is very beneficial for them to have a religious or spiritual practice, and that's why I don't want to knock anybody that's doing that. And if that's your path to recovery, phenomenal. There's places like Celebrate Recovery. It's interesting now, like I said, early on in my recovery journey, I wasn't spiritual, but after some years in recovery, I really got into Buddhism. And I was a Buddhist in recovery without ever going to like a recovery Dharma meeting, right? So I went to a couple recovery Dharma meetings not that long ago. And it's interesting that I had both been in recovery for 9 years and then I'd say be like a Buddhist for like 5, and not have gone to one of these meetings. And still, to me, meetings aren't one of the things that I like the most. I went there with some clients. So personally, if I was just going by myself, I'm not sure if I would continue to go, just because that's my own personal path to recovery. But for people, I can see how that can be such a beneficial program, even if you're not vibing with the, Celebrate Recovery 12 steps, Recovery Dharma, or you have Smart Recovery, which was my personal path to recovery, that doesn't incorporate, doesn't separate. Like you can go to Smart Recovery and be deeply religious, spiritual, what have you, but it's not a component of their program to have some kind of faith. To me, my higher power when I was in Smart Recovery was psychology. I knew there was something greater than myself, that there was people out there and there was knowledge out there that could benefit me. And I believed in psychology. I had been in therapy when I was younger, and I knew the benefit of it. So I'm like, let me use psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy as my higher power to learn how to think differently, to readjust, and it was super beneficial for me. But I hope this has been helpful for somebody to realize that it's okay if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, that you can still succeed in recovery, and that you don't have to wait for this grand light shining down miracle moment, where some God is going to remove your desire to use. Understand where the desire to use comes from, the different chemical processes, how addiction works, how drugs work, how neurochemistry works, how your dopamine reward system works. Like, even if you want to say, oh, that was made by a creator, okay, but let's understand how this different stuff works, so we can remove some of the mystifying, the mystery from some of these factors. So it's not just complete, you feel like fate, that you became addicted in the first place. Here's how you became addicted. Here's how you get out. I'm not going to sit there on my hands and knees praying, maybe if I do, if it helps, but I'm also going to learn these skills, get this knowledge, in order to be able to help myself through this process. If you are religious, God helps those who help themselves. Well, I'm trying to do everything on my end, at least to help myself, instead of just praying for removing of defects of character, but not to knock anybody who is. All right, thank you. Have a good day.